Welcome in, everybody, to Wolves After Dark. I'm Cameron. That's Ashwin. We're coming to you not live with our predictions for the Lakers-Wolves series in the playoff, the 3-6 matchup. We're going to go over, like I said, predictions. We're going to go over some X factors, some storylines. But if you're new here, like the stream. If you're not new here, also like not stream, video. Subscribe to this channel. We go live after every game, and we're going to be trying to go live after every game this playoffs. We've got a couple weird schedule things, but we will be live no matter what after every game somehow. And also, leave a comment with one, your prediction for the series. Who do you think is going to win and how many games? And two, if you have to choose only one X factor, who is your X factor? Is it Jaden McDaniels? Is it Julius Randle? Is it somebody on the Lakers? You let me know, and we'll answer in the comments. But Ashwin, here we are against the Lakers, your favorite, LeBron. How are you feeling going into this series?
I'm pumped. I think if I were to have ranked prior to this this final week of the season, if I were to have ranked the teams I wanted to face the least, Lakers were up there, Warriors were up there, just because of narrative, legacy. You can kind of fill in all the blanks. Mm-hmm. As this week kind of progressed, I was kind of feeling a little bit more energy towards let's face the juggernaut, let's face the final boss now. And I'm feeling pumped. I'm feeling like the Timberwolves have a really good chance, and I think the negative energy, the cadence from the media to even some of our own media takes are only going to prop us up, because it's all that negative or doubt or misconceptions about our team. It just feels like fuel that this team will use invaluably throughout the entire series. We crushed it to get into the 6th seed. We went 16-4. We had an 800% win rate just to get the 6th seed, because we had started so slow in the beginning of the year. But that's what happens with good teams. We find our calling, find our flow. And I'm just watching the season progress, especially when I came back, seeing this team hit its stride at the best time. Hey, the Lakers, we know what they are, man. They can't do anything other than what they are. We have so many other ways to play. Let's figure it out.
I think we can. And you're right. To a degree, being one of these big market teams nowadays is almost it's obviously a positive in the front office being able to bring in anybody at any cost, but you also are the center, you are the center of attention for everything. So everybody knows you. Also, what have we complained about at the Timberwolves for the last 20 years? We play well against the good teams. We play terrible against the bad teams. And of course, the playoffs are all good teams. But the Lakers are, this is such an incentive for so many players. Some literally an incentive to play against the Lakers. But Ant loves playing against the big names. He came out to play against Durant last year, Jokic last year, and then he ran into Luka. But
we don't talk about that.
We don't, and luckily that doesn't matter. Oh wait. But no, this is a fantastic opportunity for Ant. But as I mentioned in some streams ago, we have players that are coming up on contract years and players that are looking for a bag, whether it's with us or with somebody else. Yeah, there are so many players that are going to be playing for a lot. And a lot of players that are legit so crucial in our wins and losses. Of course, it comes down to Ant and to an effect Rudy, but Julius, Nas, those three players. If those players are playing contract games, we're going to be in for a fantastic series. But yeah, to get into some specifics here, we're going to get to our predictions here in just a little bit, and you'll be able to kind of get a sense of where we're feeling over these next couple topics. But I did want to go over, maybe first, let's go over some storylines and see if you agree, disagree, whether they're valid or whether you think we're going to flip something. I think the one that most people are talking about right now is, and of course, most people, meaning all the Lakers fans, which, I mean, there's just a lot, even if you're not a Lakers fan, a lot of people are talking about the Lakers just because they are such a, you know, a polarizing team. A lot of people love them, half the people love them, half the people hate them. But the thing that everybody's talking about, Luka last year in the playoffs had one nice step back against Rudy.
One. That's it.
One. And you want to know what the storyline is? Rudy's going to get played off the court because he's too big and the Lakers are going to play small. Do you think that's legit? Or do you think there's possibility that it could be the reverse and the Lakers are too small for Rudy?
You've done your prep, my friend. Cameron, I'm so pumped for this question. But I don't really know how to answer it. You're gonna have to help me, I think, because
Okay.
I think you already have some answer. Let me just say, I don't want to like bring on all the Lakers haters here, but also I wouldn't mind it.
Mhm.
What a weird fan base. They're more of a fashion brand and identity with a team that has an L on their fucking forehead.
Yeah.
There it is. I question their size in this series. For one, LeBron is 40. He's big, but so am I. And I'm 40 and I fall down and I'm out for a week. So um and Dorian Finney-Smith, they brought him in for like D'Angelo. Remember D'Angelo was on this team. And he's getting like 15 minutes a game. Vando, the savior. Oh, get out of here, 6'8", barely can play 8 minutes a game.
Yeah.
We will feast over their size. They have Jackson Hayes, who Sideshow Bob, maybe like the Sideshow Bob alternate. I don't think they have the size to match up with us, but we have seen smaller teams get under our skin before in previous years. However, this is a different identity of team, and Gobert is peaking right now offensively.
100%.
We just watched Memphis play Golden State, and they played a rookie, 7'4" rookie, right? And they just kept going to him.
Mm.
They had as many turnovers as they had buckets with him, but it was a pretty successful like method. Yeah. And that is 7'4" rookie Zach Edey. We have problems with finishing at the rim with Rudy Gobert, but every team has flaws, man.
Yeah.
I think Rudy is peaking right now, and his stride is, I think they're probably drilling in plays right now.
Oh, yeah.
Dunk everything and elbow everyone. Like, yeah. And so long story short, man, I'm thinking their size is such an issue for them that they're going to have to play rough and dirty and hit us in the groin and kick us in the nads and do all sorts of stupid things to get us off rhythm. They're going to play the passing lanes, and we're going to disturb and disrupt what they want to do because they're not going to be able to stop the size. And when they are trying to stop the size, what happens? The 3-point lane is wide open for us.
Yep.
The drive to the rim would be wide open. I think we have every recipe, every aspect, but most importantly, our size to take down this Lakers team.
And the size goes beyond Gobert too, because you've got, I mean, you could argue, and I mean, not even argue, it is just true that Nas and Julius are bigger and stronger than a lot of their players. I'm not,
or at the same level.
Yeah, because like of course,
like Rui and LeBron are kind of like the same.
Yes, they're similar, and I think that they could match up. But again, it's like, okay, if LeBron's on Julius, I mean, Julius is pretty physical. I know another storyline; he's a playoff dropper, but that we're just gonna have to see because Julius has been on different types of teams, and he said it himself in an interview just the other day. He's like, I don't think I've ever been on a team in the playoffs that had as legit of a chance to like move on. He said it in different words. I don't remember exactly what he said, but and some Knicks fans took offense to that.
No. I know what you're saying. Like he has something to play for.
He does have something to play for. Yes, and he is. He's going to have an opportunity to really prove himself here. And if you're going to have LeBron on him, I mean, Julius does like to draw fouls. Of course, it's the playoffs, so you're going to have a little bit less of that probably, but it's still very physical and very demanding to. Even if Julius is not playing particularly well, he's still very physical. So that's going to take a lot out of you, whoever you put it on. If it's 40-year-old LeBron, if it's Rui, whoever it may be. And Rui isn't as fast, I think, as and not that I'm saying that Julius is a super fast player, um, but I think that Julius has an edge there. Perhaps I'm sleeping on Rui. Who knows? Um, but I agree with you. This is something that well, I have two thoughts here, and I guess it's kind of a cop out answer. I'm going to try not to do any cop out answers for here on out, but the Rudy thing, we have seen him peak, like you said, over the last couple weeks. He's really been amazing. I mean, we've
Amazing.
seen 2020 games, offensively, defensively. It's really been
Career
quite
high,
amazing.
35 points. Come on.
Yeah, he had a career high 35 points. Um, I think some Lakers fans will say, "Well, you've had the weakest schedule, strength of schedule over the last like 20 games or so," and that is true. But that's not to say that we didn't beat good teams, and we almost beat several good teams because we were up however many against the Bucks that one game. Of course, that's also a concern. But um, realistically, if we're just looking at it by paper, not thinking about any narratives, forget about the storyline, just looking stats, Rudy should dominate this. And it should be like the last couple weeks have been for us, where he's getting lobs. He's drawing fouls on we might have a situation where Gabe Vincent gets switched on to him because of how we're playing. And then Gabe Vincent or somebody like that, or Vando or somebody has to just slap and foul him to try to make it so he doesn't get a wide open dunk. That could happen. But at the same time, a lot of times when we've played these games where Rudy has some kind of a storyline in the game, especially on national TV, it's like I don't know, but somehow exactly right, he plays it wrong. So like when he's on TNT and Shaq's there, you better believe that Rudy's just having the all-time stinker of a game. Different circumstances though for every game. It really shouldn't happen this time. There, like if you're not thinking about reverse jinx and things like that, realistically, Rudy should play well this series. And if we play through him, it's going to be really rough for the Lakers. I mean, think about it. Mid-season, they showed their hand trying to trade for Mark Williams because they were like, Jackson Hayes isn't enough.
It's enough.
So
You
now,
got it.
yeah, they're going to have to. They're going to have to. Jackson Hayes is either going to have to step up like crazy, which he can't because he's so small. I mean, he's tall, but he's like Jaden, like Twig
level of scrawniness. Yeah.
Yes, like he's a big technically, yes, and he plays like a center, yes, and he could catch lobs, but and he can. I mean, I guess he's serviceable maybe as a defender, but
I don't know about that.
Yeah, that's questionable. But Rudy should dominate this. So we'll see. But that takes out two storylines right there, and that's you could argue that that's an X factor. Is Rudy Gobert going to dominate as he should, or do the Lakers somehow? Because also, the other element here, and I didn't write this down in any of my notes, which spent weeks on my notes. But
it's been months.
Yeah.
21 years, in fact.
I'm very curious to see the coaching battle too of Finch versus JJ. JJ is a rookie coach.
How do you evaluate this?
It's difficult. I don't know. I don't, because you really have to go through so many games to see like schemes and everything. And of course the teams are doing that. But we have regular jobs, so I can't watch every single Lakers game and how they played certain matchups. But just being a rookie, what does he choose? Does he choose to sell out? I mean, I don't think so, on Rudy Gobert to try to stop that mismatch that we have? Or does he just say, we're not worried about Rudy. He's going to have bricks for hands like he has, and we just have to stop Ant. I think he chooses Ant over Rudy, but I don't know if he has some clever way of like trying to stop Rudy. I don't think he does. On the flip side, and I know I'm kind of changing topics here, but Finch, I mentioned this again in a couple streams ago. Finch, when he has had time to game plan for a series, he's nearly perfect. I mean, we had some early seasons of Finch where it was like, this isn't really like the team isn't developed enough. Ant is like 21. We've had some shortcomings of the roster completion. Now we've got a little bit more complete of a roster, and when he's had a complete roster, or at least somewhat of one, I mean, think of last season. We get swept by the Suns in the regular season, we have a week to prepare in the 3-6 matchup, as we're the 3, for the Suns, and we sweep the Suns, a team that beat us every game during the regular season. We go on to play the Nuggets, who we had just lost 2 times in the playoffs, 2 in a row or something like that. We beat them, and the first 2 games were, like, kind of a masterclass. So that's really exciting. He has 0 time to go up against the Mavs because I think the turnaround time for that was either, like, 2 or 3 days. It was a very short amount of time. There was not much time. We basically had to fly to Dallas, or vice versa. I can't remember how that worked. But wait, we played Minnesota first. So we had to play back Minnesota. Did we? Yes, Minnesota first. And then we had, like, 2 days to game plan or less. So that's tricky. And even previous series, even when you think about that Memphis series, the first Memphis series that we had, that was a series where we were really young. We made it out of the play-in. That was a fun game, but, like, realistically, we did not have any expectations to go. And we were up in every single game of that series, by a decent amount. And that was time that he had a little bit more time to plan since he won the first play-in game. So I think Finch has an advantage here over JJ. Of course, JJ's a player, and he's a little bit more recently removed from being a player, so maybe that's helpful to him. Do you have any thoughts on? I mean, again, like you said, it's kind of difficult to. Or the question you posed to me is like, how do you evaluate that? Do you think that is something you can evaluate? Do you think that there is an advantage there, or what do you think about the coaching matchup?
Cameron, I feel like this is a brand new pod. You are so prepared, and you are just like stating facts here. And I don't know how to interrupt. I don't know how to like
Interrupt me.
present anything new other than I agree with you. I think Finch has shown that he has the edge and one of the like fastest, winningest coaches in recent NBA history.
Yeah.
Okay, enter JJ Redick with a team of LeBron and Luka Doncic. Like, alrighty, man, you're gonna win 50 games. He also has like what Nate McMillan, and he has like
He has some. Yeah, he has some bets.
the Scotty Brooks or whatever that guy, former
Oh,
Timberwolves.
yeah, that's
Scotty
right.
Brooks.
Yeah.
So like, and these are former coaches, and they've had a defensive and offensive identities. So he's going to need to rely on his coaching staff, of course. But like, I don't know if you like call plays if you're calling plays like Luka, ISO is their strongest weapon.
Oh, yeah.
You're making plays, calling plays. We're winning off of that. Like, you're not going to your biggest strength, which is like the single ISO and kind of 5 out, and really like disrupting what we want to do, which is drop D and kind of switching on the perimeter, and kind of even like hedging and icing out. I feel strongly that our defensive plan is going to get in the way of just the others, and then we just have to man up and play our best D against LeBron and Austin Reeves, and like just let Luka cook. In a lot of ways, that is enough for us to lose. But if you're going to say like Luka or JJ Redick and Finch have other plans, they do. They will probably have plan A through Z, and they're going to see certain matchups and when there's zone and when there's not, and when there's the switches and when invariably, and some people are going to get in foul trouble or not, or some people don't have their shot in rhythm or not. The recipe for Lakers success is so written. It's unbelievably written. And LeBron is 40. So he'll probably take a back seat this entire series. He'll have his pick his spots, and we will just take advantage of him this whole game.
Yeah.
Whole series, we will just run at him. Julius Randle, don't think, just run at him. And drive at him. Like I swear, like this will be what we are practicing. And I just think that we have the edge: athleticism, size, age, and coaching. You just mentioned coaching. I think that we have the edge on that.
Yeah, I think so too.
And sometimes, like, the mind of Finch of like flow and ATOs and things like that. But we've seen the Jordan McLaughlin Ant in the corner 3. We've seen some really fun plays in seasons past. Recently, we have seen like Ant in the corner or Ant getting doubled and just chucking and hitting in 3 and relying on talent and luck. And like that Denver game, oh my God, we're just faking it to see if someone could actually get a last second shot up, and like Julius Randle couldn't do it, and Jaden couldn't do it. It just happened to
Yep.
be like a nah getting fouled by Russell Westbrook. Right? So like I do see like last second shots, the clutch, the clutchest of clutch shots moments, the timeouts, the play calling. You know where it's going. We
Yeah.
know where it's going if it's on the other end. But then I probably would trust a Luka ISO over like an Ant desperation heave, you know. So
Yep. Yeah.
but that's not necessarily coaching. That's getting us into a position where we could have won prior. I think
Yeah.
we have all the tools for that. To not put us in a position like that.
Yeah. And just last thing on coaching that I was going to say, off of a point that you were making, obviously both coaches have plans, first plans, second plans, third plans. I feel like the area where we might have the most advantage in coaching is the deeper you go into your plan C, D, E, whatever, past your first plan B, because everybody's got a plan one, everybody's got a plan two, but Finch has seen I'm assuming, but like Finch has seen in his coaching days, whether he was an assistant or the full-on head coach, he's had to go through first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth options, or ideas. Whereas JJ, this is his first year, and he's never been tested as a coach in the playoffs. He obviously had a great regular season. A lot of that aided in the second half, where Luka and LeBron were on the team, and coaching at that point obviously becomes a little secondary. But I think that's where you get the advantage, when you get a little bit deeper. And maybe we'll see that. Maybe, with the advantages that we think we have in size, maybe we don't even have to go that far into our plan C, D, E, F, But that's it on coaching. That's all I had about that. Couple other storylines that we can maybe touch on real quick before we get into maybe each one of our X factors, if we can choose only one. And then just our predictions in general. We could also do some over-unders. We'll see if we do that. We've also got some shout-outs from Twitter and Discord that we're going to hit here in a second. But storylines, we kind of briefly touched on this. I guess this is a little bit more lightning storylines. Luka owning the Wolves. He owned us last year. Do you think that was because he had such a fast guard in Kyrie with him? Or do you think it's just that, like you said, Luka is just a tough shot maker, and sometimes ISO Luka is maybe enough to just beat entire teams?
I think the lob threat was a legit issue in the Dallas series.
Yeah,
they had 2 7-footers that paired very, very well with Luka. And the dunker spot was something that, we had troubles with other people guarding. It had to have been Rudy, and Rudy was often the switch when they brought the big up.
Yep.
Who's lobbing to who and from where in this series for the Lakers? Maybe Jackson Hayes twice a game at most. I'm not concerned about it whatsoever. So I say all that because Luka, with the bigs being in Dallas, being such a threat, made us very paranoid about that. And so Gobert was playing like 3 positions in addition to ISOing a few possessions at a time. And he had tremendous record when he was one-on-one anyways. It's just those couple moments you just see those moments. Like Curry against who was it? Curry against Memphis just now, the play-in game.
Yeah.
You remember his threes, but he was like chucking from everywhere to try to make something happen, and he was miserably inefficient in the second half, except for those 3 threes.
Yep.
He's a god, right? Likewise, Luka has this magic, and he will do the simplest ISO step back crap. But I'm not worried about the threat of the lob in this series. So what
we shouldn't have to be?
Well, he has to do a lot to kill us. And do you remember the seat belt of Jaden McDaniels? One point, Luka was in the back seat of that cop.
Yeah.
He was in jail. I think we are going to throw so many looks at him, and we're in the first round. We're not in the conference finals where we were banged up.
Yeah, that's true. It's also, all of this is so difficult because the one game that we had to base the new look Lakers, the Luka Lakers versus our version of the Wolves this year, we were missing Randle, we were missing Rudy,
and got ejected.
and get ejected. Dante's first game back.
Yeah.
I mean, Terrence Shannon Jr. scored 25 points. Like, which side note, I mean, I know it's the playoffs, but it would be really fun to see him play.
Dude,
I don't know. I mean, I don't think you can play him in this situation. I don't know, and I don't know. I don't think that Finch
but he
will,
is the
but
future for our team.
he is definitely the future. I'm super excited to see him be just a little bit more polished and just get more minutes, honestly. Um, but yeah, I think I'm with you as like I have a lot of thoughts, but I don't want to go. I mean, we're not trying to make this video forever, so
I'll
I
give me
think
one
that
of your
Luka,
thoughts.
yeah, I mean, Luka's gonna hit killer shots that are just like, I mean, what do you do? And I don't know that doubling him is the answer because he's almost too good of a passer out of the double that you can't. And the Lakers do have enough 3-point shooting where I'd start to get a little concerned if we're leaving wide open Gabe Vincent or Dorian Finney-Smith or
I'm
even LeBron. I mean, like LeBron has shot pretty well from three, so or he's obviously capable. So
We're not
um,
leaving those kind of players wide open. It would be a couple possessions in a game, and I'm
yeah,
not terribly concerned about that. And
yeah,
also, like Cameron, like our 3-point defense has been top notch,
it
like
has.
top of the league. Our
Mhm.
defense may have dropped from last season, but our efficiency has improved. So it's like everyone improved defensively, but we're like top five, top six. That's fine.
Yeah, yeah,
And in
yep,
terms of offense, we've improved from like bottom half to like
yep,
top five, top 10. So like,
yep.
come on, like that's they have to play us on our side too. So it feels
Mhm.
crazy to think like Luka dominating every game is like their mode for success. That
Yeah,
is their recipe for success. That's the only way they're going to win this series. They're thinking Lakers in
yeah,
five, Lakers in six. They're already giving us a chance.
yeah, yeah,
They're saying that we're going to win a game or two. That means that we could probably pop off for another game or two because I don't
yeah,
fully believe that Luka's going scoring 50 and LeBron scoring 30 a game, right? In a game where you can score 110 points, who's
mhm.
scoring the other 30, 40 points? Like that's not
Yeah,
happening.
yeah. I mean, that's a good
And
point.
and if Luka scores for 50, everyone else is cold.
Yeah, yeah,
So
they should be. They
I
should
would
be.
let Gabe Vincent wide open in those closing minutes. And Luka wouldn't even pass the Gabe. You know, he's gonna take the triple teamed shot anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, he is, and he's gonna complain about a foul too in the
Oh,
process,
oh my god.
um, which is gonna be maybe the most annoying thing. I didn't
That's a
write that down
storyline
as
that
a
I
note.
am
Yeah, I'm
worried about.
very
I'm not
yeah,
sleepless about.
yes, the fouling, I'm certainly worried about. They just have a lot of I mean, again, not to rile up the faker fans. Whoa, that was perfect. But like they just have fake hoopers. I mean, like I get it. Like it's part of the game, and like people that are like Shea fans and stuff like that will be like, well, like if it's called like whatever, you're just taking any advantage you possibly can to win the game. But I'm sorry, but when I see like Austin Reeves, who by the way is a fantastic player, I'm not trying to say he's a bad player,
No,
but just the way he foul baits is very sickening to watch. Because he is again with all these
he's learning
people
from
that are
Luka.
yeah, it's like Luca, him, Austin Reeves, Shea, all of them drive me crazy because I'm like, you don't need to do this. You are good enough to not foul bait. Like we've seen it. So just stop. I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, beside the point. Um, I do worry about that. Another quick couple things before we get into X factors, which maybe this is an X factor. Um, Julius Randle, playoff dropper. Anthony Edwards, playoff riser. Um, do you think that is I mean, I looked through some of the game logs of Julius, playing actually last night
Not
in the
great.
playoffs. They're pretty bad. I thought that
Not
people
great.
were exaggerating. They're actually quite bad. He's getting like 5, 6 turnover games. I think he's had more turnovers than assists in the playoffs. He's also had some just like generational stinker games in the playoffs. Um, is that something you're worried about, or do you think that being on a team that perhaps, again, I don't want to make the Knicks fans mad now. We're making every major market mad today. But do you think that he's on a more complete team right now, or do you think that he's just in a better situation to handle that, or do you think that we might be in for another playoff dropper moment?
I wouldn't say this is like the biggest X factor for me. It is a factor in the series, no doubt. LeBron's going to score 20, 30, whatever. He's going to triple double. Julius just has to match 60% of that, 65% of that. he's not asked to be this leader. He's not asked
Yep.
to be a Batman, and that's what he was in New York until they kind of replaced him. They
Mhm.
over the course of years they replaced him. They traded even for like OG Anunoby while he was like still on the roster. I think he was injured, and then like they just noticed how the team was operating without him.
Yeah.
Um, you mentioned it almost at the top of the broadcast. He has so much to play for in this series. There's
Yeah.
like a redemption arc.
Mhm.
Hey, there's the way off P, playoff P, Paul George arc, right? There's the random game 6 Kareem Rush arc, right? From
Yeah.
the Lakers in 2004 that just killed us um, um, and killed our chances for a finals berth, which we would have won, by the way, against Detroit that year.
Mm.
Um, but there's also just like um, since coming back from injury, he has looked the part, with the exception of a couple oddball games, where he has now fit in miraculously to our team's identity. And he's not like the answer. He is just um like another weapon.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if we just kind of like treat him like that, the way that we treat Randall, the way that we treat like Nah and Didi and Dante and like even Jaden, he's just another weapon. You can't single team him because he'll bully you in the post. He'll drive
Mhm.
right through you. If he gets 18 and 8 and 5,
Yeah.
dude, his new role is like also what Cat mentioned he didn't do, which was drive
Yeah.
like cleanly and also pass
And
cleanly. Like,
facilitate. Exactly.
yeah.
Yep.
So
That's the thing. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I'm just saying like the play making is very clean for me. And he's
Mhm.
working with Gobert too. You're seeing lobs with him now too. I just think it's really good to see him not having to be the alpha, having to have this mentality of like the camera is now on me as this factor. I need to win for me
Mhm.
more than anyone else. I need to win for me. I think we're going to see the best version of Julius Randle, and I think like screw this narrative of like he's just a playoff like slider or whatever they say because or downer or whatever they say because yeah we've seen it, but also he knows this,
Yeah.
so he doesn't have the pressure except for having to perform, and if he doesn't perform, like you know,
Yeah. Yeah. It's there's a lot of pressure on him. There is a lot of pressure. And Kat mentioned, but like you said, Kat was helpful in some ways because Kat was um maybe a little bit better like a pure shooter than Julius. Arguably, I guess. I don't know.
no, I agree. But if you look at just like numbers this season,
Yeah.
they were about the same, maybe like 50 to 70, like more
Yeah.
threes were made.
Yep.
That's like not nothing, but it's also like a little like we've gained other things
Well,
by
like so
losing
many
that
things.
amount of things. Because also in
Yeah.
the playoffs, guess who wasn't taking threes?
I guess so. Who hasn't fouled out? Like, is Julius fouled out of a game this year?
No, we've never had foul problems with him.
Exactly. So, like, that's a huge. And now maybe that's an issue in the playoffs. I don't know,
It will be.
but
Yeah, who
yeah,
knows?
but like that's a huge difference. And like, I know everybody in our chat for some reason thinks that we're Julius haters now. All of a sudden, I don't know where that has come from. But
Probably from us hitting
um,
Julius.
no, we haven't though. I've been
I'm just
like
kidding. I'm just
pretty
kidding.
nice. I'm sorry. I'm so baffled by those comments lately. Um, but um, but like look, I've said this a million times. Look back at like every major moment for the Timberwolves, like last season and in the playoffs. How many times is Cat sitting on the bench with 5 fouls or 6? Like
Yeah,
all
or
of them.
six.
All of them. It's so frustrating. And to have Julius out there in these big moments is huge because, with Mike not being as young, that's a nice way of saying he's old. Um, but like he's
Dynamically.
not, he can be, yeah, dynamically, he can be a little bit less used as the facilitator because Julius can be. It does open things up a little bit. And this is, I guess, the transition in X factors. I know you said that he may not be your X factor, but for all the reasons that we've just been talking about, I think Julius is a huge X factor for us. I mean, I guess you could make the argument that maybe like the Gobert Hayes thing. I mean, Gobert is better than Hayes, obviously by a long shot. I don't care what these stupid Baker fans say, but like Julius playing well for us in this series is massive because if he can facilitate, if he can score, even just a
Yeah, what
little
does
bit that
playing
you're
big
talking
mean?
about.
What does playing big mean? Like I'm just saying 18-8. He does that regularly. He doesn't have to be
Exactly.
he doesn't have to be a riser. He just has to be what he is right now. And
Yep.
maybe the moment will come to him and he will take that moment on.
Hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
He has to
I
guard LeBron. Like, fuck yeah, dude. Like,
yeah.
take this challenge on. Get your 4 or 5 fouls. I don't care. Get your
Yeah.
25 points on his ass.
Yeah.
Sorry for
Exactly.
interrupting.
No, that's exactly it. For a player wise, Julius, I think, is my X factor. The more and more I think about it, there's other players, I guess, to pull a page out of maybe Bill Simmons' book, like saying like the honorable mentions for these like fake awards or whatever. But like Jaden is probably one too. I mean, if Jaden can play offensively well and also play like if he locks down Luka, like that's massive. Like that is an X factor. If Nas can remember how to play basketball, sorry Nas, we love you, but like like he's struggled for the last like 2 weeks or 3 weeks or so, or maybe even longer. But for me, Julius playing well as a facilitator and a scorer, which is like you said, like his averages this season right here: 18 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. Like if he,
Incredible.
yeah, if he does that, that's all he needs to do, and he's acknowledged that in some of these recent interviews that he had over the last week, where he's like, coming in, if I didn't score 25 or 30 points, I felt like I failed the team. Now,
Exactly.
yeah, now he has to do is come in and score like 15, just enough to make somebody really like come out on him. And he's a good passer. I know he can turn the ball over, but he's a good passer and he's a good rebounder. At least like this is serviceable. And if he does all of those things, it opens up so many things for the team. So, anyways, long story short, I
No.
think Julius is
Perfect.
my X factor. Is
Nice.
he your X factor, or who
No.
is your X factor?
I'll say that in a second. But Julius, this is gonna be like franchise altering like series.
Yeah. Oh
Let's
yeah.
take down the legacy himself.
Revenge
Um,
game.
LeBron needs to outperform his expectation. Honestly,
Yeah.
um, you'll be second fiddle to Luka.
Yep.
But Julius, if he's getting 18 points, 15, 18 points, and we're satisfied, we're happy. Last year, if Cat was getting 18 points, we were pretty sad. We were
Yeah.
so reliant on him. The X factor for me is our depth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dante DiVincenzo off the bench. Nikhil Alexander Walker off the bench. Trumps their 4 through whatever they want to play.
Yep.
Those
Yep.
two players are just so much more impactful than anything that they'll bring off the bench, as well as their other players. Good luck, Luka. For 45 minutes a game, you have to get guarded by Jaden, Steve Bell himself, Slim Reaper. And also Jaden will like pop off for a game or two a series
Yeah. He
as
does in the
he's
playoffs.
run.
Yeah.
Right, and he's a playoff riser, and in the sense that we aren't expecting anything other than like maybe 8 points, 10 points a game, and
Yeah.
4 or
Couple
5
threes.
fouls and a couple blocks. He's
Yeah.
going to get a 20-pointer. He's going to lock down Luka. You know what I'm saying? And if he
Yeah.
doesn't, then there's Nah. Then there's Jalen Clark. Then there's Julius. Then there's Ant. Oh my god, dude!
Yeah.
We have improved our depth this year. So much so that in the conference finals last year, we had no one.
Yeah.
We were gassed. We had to rely on slow-mo.
Yeah. We
It was
did.
rough, man.
Yeah.
Slow-mo's amazing, but we had to rely on it.
Yeah.
And part of our whole roster shape, like, change this year was to say we don't need any we don't need the doubt within our own team. Like we don't want to like not pass to you slow mo. We want to pass to
Mhm.
literally anyone on our roster because we trust you taking the shot. Jaden will make threes. Dante DiVincenzo makes threes.
Oh, he
Emma
does at a
is
really
clutch
high
as
rate.
F. Our
Yeah.
X factor is our depth, bar none.
Yeah.
They are expected to have 100 points from those three and a half dudes,
And they may.
and that's okay.
because we have more.
Yeah.
And to your point, like we legitimately, if they play to their averages or even slightly above average, we have 3 6-man of the year contenders. Like Nas has been a 6-man of the year. If Nas wasn't here, would probably be in that conversation.
Yeah. Who
And
knows?
Dante as a sixth man is a little crazy
Little wild.
because he should probably be starting on almost all teams. So it's just a weird situation with Ant being the 2 and needing Jaden at the 3, and then also needing like a more like standard point guard as your point guard, but
Yeah.
which is debatable. A lot of people don't think that we need Mike. So yeah, I think you're right, and that's just naming 3 of our guys, and they're all fighting for the 6, 7, 8 spot. Um, and then on top of that, you've got some defenders that can come in in Jalen Clark as a rookie. I guess he's not he's technically a rookie because he was out
Or
last
just
year,
think
but
about the
still,
spot minutes. Like right the end of
yeah,
quarters. Screw you,
yes,
Luka. Here comes Jalen Clark, another guy. He's not
yes.
like disposable. He's going to be a huge piece for our team moving forward. But here he is, another guy, fully rested, a rookie level energy, going to stop you.
We cannot be rigged by the refs because
Oh,
they would have to call 20
5 fouls in 5
fouls.
seconds.
Yeah, like they would have to call so many to get through our good defenders. I mean,
Yeah.
legitimately, they'd have to foul
Yeah.
out Jaden, Nah,
Let's see it happen.
Clark.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
like for real. I mean, that's what would have to happen. And you know, that's another side note. If you can frustrate Luca, like when the games that he gets mad at the refs are the games where he kind of
He's out of it.
disintegrates. Yeah, like it's if you can get him mad and if you can get Reeves kind of flopping around like he does. Again, I know I'm not saying I want to make it clear to everybody, even the fake Laker fans, that I do respect him. I think that he is a fantastic player,
Oh,
especially
yes.
for a 3. But he does flop around like a fish. So I'd like him to start flopping around and trying to get calls
Salmon over
and
rice.
getting angry. I'd like Luka to do the same. And LeBron will do the same. They've got a lot of players that if they're not getting calls, I think it'll be a problem for them to kind of stay together mentally. And that's another test for JJ. So there's a lot of weak points for the Lakers, and we kind of know what we're getting with the Wolves. At the end of the day, the 2 best players, I think you might disagree with me, but I think most people would say that the 2 best players in this series are on the Lakers. And then, like you said, though,
I don't know
beyond
if that's what most people are saying.
I've heard. I mean, what I've seen a lot of is like people very much saying that obviously Luka is the number 1 player.
Well, I've seen literally nothing, but I disagree with whatever you looked at.
Yeah, I know. I knew you were going to disagree with LeBron and Ant, but
That's
I think
Luka.
most talking heads would say that LeBron and Luka are the number 1 and 2. But regardless of that,
Who
like you
cares?
just said, the rest of it pretty much goes to Wolves, 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 especially the deeper you go. So, and even if you only play 8, like I don't know, the Lakers, like their roster, like okay, Rui can be solid, but he's not going to be a consistent. I mean, if
I
he's
mean,
consistent for
he's
you,
been pretty good.
he's been good, but like he can. I mean,
He's not like Obi Toppin good.
he's not Obi Top. Yeah, I think that's the point that I'm trying to make. He's not going to go crazy,
He's not going to go crazy.
but if he's
And we would
consistently
allow
Obi,
that, by the way. We would allow that to happen.
if anybody is consistently Obi Toppin against us outside of Luka and LeBron, I don't even care. All of this analysis can go right out the door because if for some reason Gabe Vincent comes in and is like shooting 20 points a game, we're cooked. but but like I mean, like look at this. They have Connect, they have Dorian Finney-Smith,
That's not playing.
Gabe Vincent, Shake Milton is like a legitimate
Not
player for like that's not going to happen. Vanderbilt, like you said, he's playing 8 minutes or whatever. Goodwin, maybe a sleeper. He's been again, but he's not going to be consistently like amazing. He might have a
One thing I didn't
game,
know is that they have
but
Maxi Kleber. I didn't know that they had Maxi Kleber.
they do, and I saw that he's warming up for the series. Apparently, I don't know, but we'll see. That I don't like that. He's a
I
little
don't
bit of
like
a
that
turbo
either.
killer. But
Well, I just want to say, I sound like I'm like snorting the fucking Wolves cocaine. Multiple lines, in fact.
yeah,
I'm watching and I'm talking to you with my my Ant focus glasses. By the way, we haven't even talked about Ant.
I know. Well, it's just kind of
55 minutes in this show. We
yeah.
haven't talked about him. But I feel strongly that this is just a misread on the narrative of the series. An
Yeah.
absolute misread.
It's just
Just
lazy. It's
like
just
the
lazy.
Phoenix, it's lazy. It's
Yeah.
outdated. It's so
Yep.
old. It's so simple and basic.
Yep.
We have overachieved in ways, and we have grown in as a franchise. One,
Mhm.
the distractions of Glenn Taylor are resolved. KG, just you can imagine KG showing up.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
imagine all the like another X factor I had in my head was like how represented are the Timberwolves at home games? Because boy, will there be Lakers fans.
I know.
But if we just like out howl them, like that would just I feel like give us a huge just chest boost.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was. I touched myself. I was like,
Oh.
but where I was going with that is just I think that um the, the, the narrative is old fashioned because who has the superstar player? They
Yeah.
do. Who
Yeah.
has the superstar player? We do.
Yeah.
Who is a playoff riser? Ant.
Yep.
Who's going to carry us through this series? Ant. But guess what? He doesn't have to do it by himself.
Mhm.
And I think he has the utmost confidence in his teammates, maybe for the first time in his career, because yeah, best guess who was the best shooter of all time? That would be Cat, who didn't shoot from three.
Yeah. I know. Yeah.
So we would have this fluctuation of like, will he, won't he? When is Ant going to take over or not?
Mhm.
And now we have all this rhythm through the rest of this team to take us down. I don't think they can stop us. They will win a game or two. This will be
Yeah.
a Wolves favored matchup without anyone knowing, unless they watch this show.
It's true. That is true.
Dude,
Well, let's do it.
Ant, we haven't even talked about Ant. Ant
I know.
is the 3-point king, dude.
Yeah.
The step back
Mhm.
threes, the off the catch threes, the pull up threes are insane. Good luck guarding him because guess what? He doesn't have to do that because also he'll be driving to the rim.
Yep.
He's also
Yeah.
now the best passer he's ever been, the best playmaker he's ever been.
Mhm.
And he has so much other talent around him to like guide this and offset when he's like needing a breather or two. Oh man, I'm fully engorged with the Wolves in this series, man.
I'm excited. I really am. Before we get to some predictions real quick, I did want to have a couple shout outs from our Discord,
Yep.
from Twitter. We put out some polls. I'm curious to see. Of course, these are all Wolves leaning polls because we're asking. They're not like official, like whatever, unbiased polls. But in our Discord, we have 69% of us, 69% of us believe that the Wolves win in 6 or 7 games. 25% of us believe that the Wolves win in 4 to 5 games, and 6% believe that the Lakers will win in 6 to 7 games, but nobody believes that the Lakers will win in 4 to 5. Very similar poll results for the Twitter. Wolves in 6 or 7, 59%. Wolves in 4 or 5 is 33%. Lakers 4 or 5 is 2%, and Lakers 6 and 7 games is 6%. So a lot of Wolves leaning and longer series is what the belief is, which I think a lot of even the, I guess, more traditional media are kind of predicting is a longer series, which would be, I mean, a longer series for this team, these teams together is really good for the Wolves, I think. Mainly just, I mean, not even just from a basketball standpoint, from like a business standpoint. Like you want to capture as many people as you can going into next year because I think that next year is a I don't know. I don't want to get too focused on next year. We'll talk about that in all of our off-season content, but I do think we're kind of loading up next year for a big point, which is also another thing that I did want to kind of briefly touch on is that I think both of these teams, the Wolves and the Lakers, I don't think anybody came into this season saying this is the year for us. I think that
Oh,
both, because I think that, like, look at the Lakers. They got Luka, but when they got Luka, nobody said, "Oh, this is their chance at a championship this year." Now, does it give them a possibility? Of course, if you get a player like that, that's obviously incredible. But as mentioned previously, they tried to trade for Mark Williams because they knew that they weren't a complete team at the moment. It was like they just made the trade because they're like, oh, Nico Harrison is just dumb. Like, let's just take advantage of this and we'll figure it out next year. The Timberwolves, they traded Cat mentioned, for Julius and DDV, but I don't think anybody came in and was like, "This is the answer. This is the solution to everything." Same as with Rudy. I mean, we had a year with Rudy before things really clicked. I think at least I looked at this year and said, "Okay, we can still be good. This still gives us the similar opportunity that we did last year to go deep in the playoffs, but then the next year will be the good one." So I think that both teams coming out of this series will have the excuse. Whoever loses will be like, "Ah, well, we were next year was our year," you know. I think that is going to be the copium from either us or from the Lakers fans. I think that that's just a small side note. Um, but Wolves lead on Twitter. T Wolves lead on Twitter. Wolves in 4 until it ain't. Simon waits. McDaniels will be second top scorer after Edwards. That's a hot take. And if that happens, we're definitely winning in 4. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Owen Elhard says Wolves in anything. And I think that's maybe where I am. But no spoilers. No spoilers.
You know that Pat Bev wanted the series to go 9?
I heard that. I saw that. Yes. And he didn't even give a prediction. He gave a prediction for other series, but he didn't give a prediction for that.
He wanted the series to go 9.
He does want it to go 9.
This is going to be
fun.
a remarkable series. I think we're it's like, take our tinfoil hats off and our Minnesota fandom out of the equation.
Yeah.
Just like watch as a basketball fan, or even like getting into basketball. This is going to be the best series in the first round, bar none.
Super fun. I think so. It'll be super fun. I think I will say a close second will be the Rockets Warriors. I think that'll be kind of fun. I'm looking forward to that one. If outside of the
Denver Clippers, like they're all amazing, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why. I struggle to care about the Clippers. I know they're playing amazing right now, but I don't really care to watch them for some reason. Maybe I should.
I mean,
I should, but
I think you and I are sharing the same opinion. It's just like those 3 series are pretty spectacular.
They're good. They're very good. Yes, and I'm assuming that the Mavs win the play-in game to be the 8th seed. I don't know why I'm assuming that, and I think they're going to go up against OKC, and like I know that the Mavs are down bad right now, and that like more so off the court than on the court, and injury wise.
Yeah.
But I think that could be a decent 1-8 series. Maybe we'll see. But couple other shout outs real quick, and then we'll get to our predictions. I know we're getting long here, but giggity. But hot takes. So Nas Reed Anderson, Nick Anderson, conspiracy. NBA scheduled extra rest. By the way, we have a ton of rest in between these games. Which I think is a good thing for the Timberwolves, but also maybe a good thing for the Lakers since they're old. But they scheduled extra rest for old LeBron and rookie head coach. Officiating will decide the series. Is the fix-in? But that's the conspiracy. The prophecy is that Rudy will dominate on offense. I think we agreed. Anthony Edwards will continue his assault on legends for the modern NBA. I would love that, and I think that is realistic.
It's a fun way to put it as well.
Yeah, I do love that. That's like a great title of something. Terrence Shannon Jr. will be the surprise of round 1. He was amazing in the one game that we played against the Luka Lakers, and he could. That's a legit. I don't know that we're going to have Finch trust his rookies enough to play them any amount of minutes, but it feels like it's a possibility if he played that he could be kind of fun.
I do get so excited for like a Terrence Shannon mention, though.
I know. That would be fun.
He's my second favorite player on the team right now.
So that's a fun one. Let's see. What else do we have? Sabrina, can't go without mentioning this. Sabrina's kind of said this all year and says it every year. She says, you better have my all-time hot take that Jaden is the X factor. I did mention him as an honorable mention, and he certainly could be. I mean, again, anytime if Jaden's going to score,
he's going to score 20 points in one game, and that's going to be such a difference maker.
We're all going to be praising Jaden, singing Jaden's praises. Butterfly will, Sabrina will, everybody will.
Allison Audrey will.
That'll be fun. Oreo says go. Hasn't been here in a while, but shout out Oreo says go, an OG, one of the OG followers of Wolves After Dark. Hot take is that this is a Rudy Gobert legacy series. He will dominate and put the notion that he can't play in the playoffs to rest. Rudy will be our MVP. I like that.
Ooh, Rudy MVP. That is a hot take. I would love to see that. That'd be so great.
if what we were saying earlier about taking advantage of the Lakers being small is true, that could happen. Um, Six and Eric, I don't remember how to say your name. I think it's 6 cents. That's what you used to be. How do the Lakers match up when Julius Randle brings the ball up the court? Will Nas get into offensive flow? How do they defend Ant Rudy pick and roll? That's an interesting one. Is Ant plus 4 of the 7 rotation guys being average or better enough to win? Hot take: Minnesota is the nobody believes in us team. I like that hot take.
Yeah.
And
we're expected to lose, Cameron. Like, we might even lose game 1. That does not
we could
really dent my optimism for this series.
Yeah.
Because they're expected to win games 1 and 2, actually. So,
Yep.
like, they have to actually perform and meet all expectations, because all eyes on them if they lose. All pressure is on them.
Oh, yeah. To your point, Rad_ski says, my not so hot take is that either LeBron or Luka will be gassed by the time this series gets to game 4. So you're right, they could win the first couple games, but once we get a little bit deeper, you never know. I mean, Luka's coming off of injury, and we're going to be in the playoffs, so it's going to be a lot more intense. And LeBron is 40. But those are some hot takes. But I think it's time to get to our official predictions. An hour later,
all right.
We're over on time. How many games and who do you think? Well, first, let's do this. How many games do you think there will be? I think we're going to differ on this answer.
I think it's a 6-game series.
Okay. I think it's a 5-game series.
Yeah, baby.
And I'll go first now. Now, I'm not going to do a cop-out answer because I am going to give you a real answer. But I think that this series, the way it is with the matchups and the things that we've been talking about, there's a possibility that one team just dominates. Because if Rudy cannot dominate the size, that's a problem for us. And if he does, that's a huge problem for the Lakers. So I think it's a slippery slope to who wins. But I have Wolves in 5. I have the Wolves winning in 5 games and surprising the Lakers.
I love that. So what could be a series of all time, just taken. All that history, all those moves, just taken, gutted.
Yeah.
I have Wolves in 6. There is a lot of just ye faithful Wolves fanatic in me, but I'm even taking a realistic look at this series, and I just think that we have the endurance, the depth, the rounded out roster. We have the all-star talent and the defense to pair with our size, the flexibility that Ant will need to score, but every other player you can't account for. You can't game plan against because someone's going to pop off and you don't know who it is. So all that worry, all that trauma of figuring out who that is, Ant will still take care of his own.
Wolves in 6, Wolves in 5. Both sound pretty good to me.
Sounds great.
That's a fun one. Well, there's our playoff preview. Game 1 Saturday, Game 2 Tuesday, the 22nd, Game 3 April 25th, Game 4 April 27th, and we'll see what's needed after that.
Well, there will be a 5th one, apparently.
There probably will be a 5th one if we're correct. Like I said, if you're new here, like the stream, subscribe to the stream, and leave it in the comments. Wolves in 6, Wolves in 5, Lakers in something. I'm sure we'll find some Faker fans out there. And who's your X Factor? All right. Well, I appreciate you tuning in. Like I said, we're going to be live after these games. Might be a little bit later, depending on the night. We'll see. Try to get as many people as possible in these live streams. And we're going to be doing some giveaways. Make sure you join. Giving away tickets to the playoffs, jerseys, merch, everything. We appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. Wolves in 6 or 5.
Go Wolves.
Go Wolves.
I believe that the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to win the World Championship.
Edwards. Oh, Edwards! They are advancing to the Western Conference Finals for the first time in 20 years. Oh, it's so